your connoisseur, and welcome to the Arsenal Fan Experience. Join me today as I go in depth into the snooze fest that was. And as we begin today, this is the second time Arsenal has played Burnley this season, as they originally played them at Turf Moor back in September, and only to a 1-0 victory over a Martin Odegaard free kick. And since then, where these teams have really gone in opposite directions, and while I can't say that Burnley necessarily deserves to be in the relegation zone, they just haven't been good enough this season to get out of it. But with games of importance like this, that doesn't matter in a case like that. And as we get into it and look at the starting lineup, three major losses in terms of not being able to play. Thomas Partey, Xhaka, and Takahiro Tomiyasu all were unable to play today due to a variety of reasons, such as in Xhaka and Partey's case, them both being sent off in Arsenal's Carabao Cup ties in the past week or two, which has really kept the team busy and in game shape, because they had not played in over almost 20 days, almost 3 weeks. And I think, and as much as I was looking forward to seeing them back in a Premier League game and having a game matter after their varying success against Liverpool, ultimately losing on Thursday at the Emirates. And I think that they were a little nervous to begin, to be honest. And the starting lineup wasn't the strongest that they could muster. And as much as I like Ben White, a right back, when he played against Norwich just last month, the addition of Rob Holding, who was partly at fault for them losing Manchester City the last game, worried me a lot. And as we get into it, there wasn't a lot of opportunities for Arsenal to play very defensive in the game, as Burnley was no threat offensively, and especially after they sold their best striker, Chris Wood, to Newcastle. They're really struggling in terms of getting any offense going. Meanwhile, Arsenal was on the opposite side of the spectrum, as while they had a number of great chances early on, including one from Bukayo Saka, that the issue in this game seemed to originate from the fact that they had trouble getting out from the back. As good as Albert Sambi is as a midfield option, having him be the sole midfielder back and giving him the responsibility of driving the play forward just didn't work today. And he could not replace the effective duo of Xhaka and Partey at all. And furthermore, with the other midfielders, Smith Rowe and Odegaard, they're not really accustomed to playing as box-to-box midfielders, and as they're more so playmakers, and that really showed in this game, as they couldn't really get the ball from their own side of the field to the on the attack. And that was one noticeable critique I would make, but also I think it's apparent that just Arsenal just cannot finish today. And it was evident early on, and when Alexander Lacazette had a very good chance that he whiffed on. And all credit to the Burnley defense. Again, that's really their strong suit, defending, and Sean Dyche has instilled that in them, as when Arsenal would go on a counterattack, you would see about 7 Burnley players coming back to defend, and there's really no no way in for Arsenal to shoot, to get into the box and shoot. And Martin Odegaard would have another great chance that one again after that would be saved by Pope, and with the rebound getting back to Lacazette and Burnley's defense blocking, making sure that the shot was not put on target. I mean, really, the best chance of the entirety of the first half, as along with the aforementioned Saka chance later on, would have to go to Dwight McNeil. Would have to go to Dwight McNeil, who put in a great ball into the box. It deflected off Gabriel, and Ramsdale had to make a terrific save to put it out for a corner. Now, fortunately, he didn't react as delayed as he did in the game on Thursday, although that was not his fault, as he was basically screened by his own defenders. And nonetheless, it's just a cup game at the end of the day. And this game, I would say, was the more important, to be honest. And that's why it's so disappointing how going into the second half, the score remained 0-0, as it appeared Arsenal should have gone ahead. And in the second half, and it was more the same, as Arsenal again had a couple good chances, with Martin Odegaard putting in a great shot off a free kick, trying to replicate his goal against Burnley earlier in the season, but to no avail. Like I said, once again would have another great chance, and I feel like he capitalized as best he could today, and is proven that he is their starting striker. And as much as I love Martinelli, and I think he was a terrific, I thought he was terrific against Liverpool. He's best more suited as a left mid or left wing. And going back to Lacazette, it astonishes me too how he does not have a new contract, and it appears that he might be leaving on a free, and that really disappoints me, and because he has been playing very good football of late. But just as it seemed that this game would end in a draw, Burnley almost gave me a scare in the 90th minute, where Dwight McNeil once again put in a great chance that just brazed the crossbar, and that was it. And what was a very meandering game, where Arsenal had a lot of chances, and they had more possession, and they had more possession, almost 75% of the possession, double the shots to Burnley, and just nothing went their way. And it perplexes me as to how that happened, how this result happened, and I hope that they learn from this and recognize that they could have been better. They weren't terrible by any means, but just weren't efficient, and that's something they can work on. And I think all it comes down to is they're rusty, and even playing 3 games in the past, or even playing 2 games, as they've really had a couple games get postponed. Their game against Tottenham last week was postponed, and their game against Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup was postponed, and not a lot of time to get in to play or even practice. And not to mention how they had a couple of players like Thomas Partey just came back from the African Cup of Nations. Pierre Aubameyang is currently playing in the African Cup of Nations. So they've had to really test their depth lately, and all credit to the players playing. But this is the gritty part of the season, and as we're halfway through, it only gets tougher from here. And as they have a game, and it doesn't help that they don't have another game until the 10th of February against Wolves. And although I do suspect they might actually have another game in between that time to make up for the game that was postponed in December, they may also have to play that game against Tottenham in between that time too. So it only gets harder from here. And today's performance did not um, give me a lot of confidence, or nor did it give the team a lot of confidence in how unfortunate they were in their luck. So anyway, my man of the match goes to Martin Odegaard. And Odegaard, as critical as I was for him in his positioning, obviously it's not a position he's used to play at, and nor would he normally play in. But I thought he did well in it, and he had a number of great chances that a number of great passes in to give Arsenal a presumptive lead. Unfortunately, we weren't able to finish, but nonetheless, Odegaard flourished today, and I couldn't be more happy. Couldn't be more happy with his performance. So anyway, leave a like, subscribe if you enjoyed my reaction, and join me next time in the Arsenal fan experience as Arsenal takes on Wolves. Arrivederci.